So, as you guys are aware, I'm a big fan of The Last of Us TV show on HBO. I think that it is a fantastic adaptation. They have obviously made some changes to the story that I don't approve of, but overall, this is the best that we've gotten in a very long time by a long shot when it comes to overall trying to showcase an adaptation in the proper way and respecting the source material from which that adaptation is being made from. Now, when it comes to The Last of Us, the showrunner just recently came out and thanked the fans for giving such a warm reception. Now, normally when we talk about TV show showrunners, it's always the showrunners who are basically attacking the fans or accusing the fans of review bombing or essentially just like ruining their show before the show even comes out or right after the show comes out. But this particular showrunner decides to come out and actually thank the fans and praise the fans for giving such a warm reception. And I think we should really talk about it and showcase it because this is the opposite side, guys. This is the opposite side of what we normally get every single day in Hollywood. So I would love to talk about it and give this guy the time of day because right now they are doing a damn good job with the TV show. Obviously, it can change at any point, but as of right now, they're doing a good job, and I want to make sure they get credit for that. So let's get into today's article from good old Shill Media website, CBR. And of course, CBR is going to come out and praise this show because they praise every show. The only shows they don't praise are the ones that tend to go more right leaning, or sometimes they don't even talk about their shows, let's be honest with you. But this article comes to us from Greg Hill over at CBR, and it says The Last of Us showrunner thanks fans for the positive reception. And The Last of Us showrunner Craig Mazin writes a heartfelt thank you message to fans after receiving an abundance of positive feedback on the series. Now, the ironic thing is, this show actually deserves everything that it's getting right now. I'm not really sure what this show is doing on Rotten Tomatoes right now. Let me check it out. I mean, look at this. So, okay, so this show is literally at a 99% critic score and a 96% audience score. This show is destroying everything right now, and it deserves to do so because if they stick to the source material the way that they're doing after the first episode, I have no doubts that this is going to be a massive hit for HBO, massive hit. And it's shows like this that allow HBO Max to do absolute garbage like Velma. This shows like this is what funds these studios to allow them to do garbage like Velma. I'm telling you right off the bat. But let's go back to the article from CBR and see what they have to say. So it says The Last of Us showrunner Craig Mazin thanks fans for the kind comments and positive feedback he has received following the show's debut on HBO. In a post shared on Reddit, Mazin said that he was blown away by the feedback from fans after the series premiere of The Last of Us. Mazin said the lead actor Bella Ramsey tend to stay off social media, though he felt the warm reception warranted a thank you post on behalf of myself, Neil Druckmann, Pedro Pascal, and Bella Ramsey, and everyone else who worked so hard on the show. The showrunner also said that he was particularly pleased because he thinks the series just gets better and better as it goes. He added, I say thank you again for watching, and I hope you stick with us for the full run of the series. Now, the crazy thing is, people are going to have no issue sticking with them for the full run of the series simply because they did the right thing by fans. I know, it's a crazy concept. Do you see what happens when you give the fans what they want? Do you see what happens when you make TV shows, movies, entertainment based off what the fans actually want and not what your stupid ideology tells you to do? It's insane, right? I know it's a wild concept to think that something like this is even possible, but guess what? It's possible. I know. Shocking. It's so shocking. I can only imagine the looks on the faces of people like Mindy Kaling who are like, well, why do they like The Last of Us so much? I don't understand. And you can't even say it's because they're white led because everybody's either Hispanic or black. So come on. You gotta admit it at some point that you messed up. So he made this post on Reddit and then it says The Last of Us premiered on HBO on January 15th and is based on the video game of the same name developed by Naughty Dog. The series stars Game of Thrones alums Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey as Joel and Ellie respectively, who are tasked with making their way across the zombie-ravaged United States in a bid to create a cure. Creator of the original game and head of Naughty Dog, Neil Druckmann, acted as a writer, director, and executive producer of the series. Now, I wonder if it's Neil Druckmann that is the reason why this show is so true to the source material. I don't know if I really want to say that because this is the same guy who gave us Last of Us, and this is also the same guy who gave us The Last of Us 2. That completely terrible story from The Last of Us 2 that was completely riddled with ideology that allowed him to kill off Joel and make it this whole big thing about the trans star, Abby or whatever the case may be. It was insane. And he just completely ruined the story for a lot of people, and people were just not for it. Last of Us 2 got trashed. Last of Us 1 is a masterpiece. It really is. In storytelling, in cinematography, graphics, gameplay, it just is a masterpiece. It really is. But the main thing is the story is fantastic, and people love it. It says The Last of Us premiere received positive review from critics, with some early reviews of the series dubbing it one of the first great TV shows of 2023. In CBR's review, Sam Stone praised the series' faithfulness to the original video game, though said it's completely accessible for those unfamiliar with the narrative. He also complimented the performances of Ramsey and Pascal, singling out the latter for excelling with the emotionally extensive material he was given in the premiere episode. Now, I will say that this 100% is true, okay? This is one of the first great TV shows of 2023. By far, this TV show, if it keeps going the way it's going, is going to be used as an example for other people to try to match, okay? Like, you have to match the energy, the faithfulness, the overall just great storytelling of The Last of Us. You're going to have to match it, because if not, your show's going to be trash in comparison. It just really is. That first episode from HBO Max is really impressive. It genuinely is. And like I said, I have my issues with some of the changes that they made to the main way that the transmission of the infection actually spreads. But aside from that, it's a great adaptation, and I can only see it going better from there. Pedro Pascal, for some reason, when I look at him in the show, even though they whiten his skin color a little bit, I see Joel all day long. I see him. I see the way he plays Joel very well. He speaks basically like Joel. It's crazy. And the actress who plays Ellie also looks, for the most part, like Ellie, but not as feminine. You know, it definitely looks more tomboyish or boyish. And I think they're doing that because they just came out recently as non-binary or whatever the case may be. But definitely at least tries to stay true for the most part. I do find it hilarious, though, that the person that they race swapped in the show, which is his daughter Sarah, still ends up dying within the first 20 minutes of the first episode. So they ended up killing off their diversity hire, which is crazy because that seems to be a pattern that they do in Hollywood now. It says, while the show has reportedly remained faithful to The Last of Us video game, fans have been pleased to see some parts of the original narrative expanded and updated to suit the television series format. Many commented on The Last of Us expanded prologue, which fleshed out the story of Joel and his daughter Sarah before the outbreak more thoroughly. Some were also pleased to see better inclusive casting on the series, a change from the majority white original video game cast. Damn, CBR, you could not hold yourselves back. You you could not hold yourselves back. You couldn't just talk about how good the show was. No. You had to, at the ending of your article, the last bit of your article, you had to throw in that better inclusive casting of the series, a change from the majority white original video game cast. Shut the fuck up. Who are you, man? I need to see who this person is. Of course, it's another white person. What is with CBR and the white people who work there being completely obsessed with identity politics? Now you have Greg Hill, another writer from CBR, who's hardcore white to the point where he had to black and white his profile picture because they don't want to show how white he actually is, while he basically talks about how bad being white is. It's insane. The white guilt that's going on at CBR right now is really, really pathetic, and you guys need to stop your shit, because especially with this show is perfect right now. There's no reason for you to be talking about identity politics. The fact that you even threw that in there at the end makes you just such a ridiculous shill, but I'm sure you're perfectly fine with that, Greg Hill. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy, and if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.